The fratricidal struggles in the Danish royal family are not new. In fact, Margaret of Denmark snatched the throne from Ingolf Rosenborg when the law changed in her country. Ingolf of Rosenborg was born a prince, but like the disinherited sons of Prince Joachim and Princess Marie, he died as the Count of Rosenborg. When he was born at Sorgenfri Palace in Copenhagen, the law preventing women from acceding to the Danish throne was still in force. But his luck changed in 1953, the year the Danes voted in a referendum to change the constitution to allow the daughters of Ingrid of Sweden and Frederick of Denmark to inherit the crown. And so it was, by popular acclaim, that Margaret of Denmark ended up becoming the woman who has been sitting on the Danish throne for 50 years, while the former Prince Ingolf would forever be remembered as the Queen's cousin who lost the crown. Some might think that Ingolf never had the best cards in that game. Although his family branch had been recognized by his grandfather, the king, as the legitimate heir to the crown, the reality is that the father of the current Count of Rosenborg, Prince Ned, did not have the favor of the people. Why did Count Rosenborg lose his crown? While in Denmark in the 1950s the family of King Frederick, his wife Ingrid and their 3 daughters was respected and admired, Frederick's designated successors since 1947, Prince Ned and his son Ingolf, were completely out of favor with the public. According to gossip, it was not only because they did not have a good photo op, but also because they were not exactly the brightest light in the palace. So much so that the phrase "one more time for Prince Ned" became popular among the Danish people, implying that things had to be repeated several times for him to capture them. The anecdote that fed that legend was born from an occasion in which Prince Ned went to a ballet show and a part of it was performed again because he had not seen well a scene from the seat that had been assigned to him. But the bad press acted to magnify the anecdote and the crown prince ended up becoming the distracted prince. Ingolf himself was no better portrayed by the press than his father when journalists came to him after the referendum result was known and when they asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up now that he could no longer be king, he answered, "Garbage man." He was 13 years old. How Ingolf of Rosenborg's life has been since he lost the throne. If it bothered the count to stop being heir to the crown, he never showed it in public. It is true that the royal family was always generous with him. They allowed him to marry a bourgeois, Ingrid, who was his childhood sweetheart, financed him a large property in which to live away from the capital and the spotlight and even received a sum a year on account of the crown. Even when he lost his princely treatment, he was granted the title of Count of Rosenborg, a title created expressly for members of the Danish royal family who decided to marry people without blue blood in their family tree. Count Ingolf could have become an uncomfortable subject at the court of his cousin Margaret of Denmark, but that role has ended up being played by his own son, Prince Joachim. The reality is that the count has led a quiet life with sporadic appearances in royal life at inaugurations and events, and even aroused some sympathy when he was widowed when his first wife died prematurely of cancer in 1996. Now Count Ingolf of Rosenborg is in the news again because he and his second wife, Countess Susie, have sold a lot of 39 royal relics, including King Christian's silverware and various works of art. The official excuse for the sale is that he is moving to a smaller, more modern house and needed to get rid of the surplus. From living in 600 square meters, he now lives in 400. Not bad for a count who has never had children. The unofficial is that in addition to space he needed to gain liquidity, something he has surely achieved with the more than 120,000 euros he has raised. The auction of these objects is nothing new in his family. In 2018, his 3 nieces, Josephine, Feodora, and Camilla, also auctioned a royal tiara of diamonds and sapphires. It seems that the Rosenborg branch of the family is not averse to giving up the family legacy, be it a crown or a tiara.